Okay. Did you make this?
No, but I love that it looks like I did.
I mean, it looks incredible. But I knew that you were like cutting things in the back, and
I was cutting a little fabric off so that I could give it to my dancers.
I
Because we're a
fucking love
socialist
it.
organization.
That's amazing. So, what political party are you affiliated with?
Well, communist, but that's a different part. That's a different story.
That's fair. That's fair. You do your own podcast too, right?
I do.
Yes, you do Golden Hour podcast.
I do.
What's the best question that you've asked that you wish someone asked you from that? Ooh, yeah. Can we get a ooh?
Well, my podcast, Golden Hour, it spotlights Asian musicians because when I was growing up, I never saw very many people who looked like me doing what I wanted to do. I pretty much had Mike Shinoda from Linkin Park, who's amazing. Yes. And Cassandra from Wayne's World, who my guitar is named after because she was the first person that I saw that like could really shred and like own her sexuality, and it wasn't this binary of like, if you're sexy then you can't be technical and so on and so forth. But Cassandra wasn't a real person, and she existed within this world of Wayne's World, which is one of my favorite movies. So I started it because I wanted to spotlight musicians who also might not have seen themselves growing up and wanted to find community. But that said, I don't really know what the best question I've asked someone is because everyone's so different. Yeah.
Yeah. What's your interview style?
We get really deep right off the bat. Sometimes it goes off the rails, and we end up talking about our mutual love of butt rock and
Butt rock?
Butt rock.
Yeah. What's butt rock?
I'm glad you asked. Butt rock is my favorite genre of music. Who asked that? Okay, good. I'm looking at the right person. What's your name? Julia.
Hey, Julia.
Butt rock is the post-grunge movement after Nirvana, where all these bands were trying to sound like them, but it ended up being sort of like a photocopy of it, so it was like Puddle of Mud, Creed, Stained, all the music that I listen to on a regular basis. And I interviewed this one guitarist. Her name is Yvette Young. She plays in a band called Covet, and she's a master shredder. I had no idea that we shared this common interest, and we just started singing with arms wide open for like half the podcast, which I also played at my sister's wedding.
Oh, your sister's here.
Yes.
Hey.
Yeah. I feel like Lance Bass knows that song.
He's been singing it in my ear.
This place, I'll show you everything. We're all. You can't say any of the consonants. It has to be.
You can't stop it either. Have you seen the video of him flying on the football field in NFL? I think about that often.
I think about the moment before the guitar solo where he's walking on this this pasture and meteors are falling all around him, and right before the guitar solo he presses
He's a stallion.
he presses a rock with his foot that looks like he's turning on a distortion pedal, and it's like but nothing, the rock didn't trigger anything, but I just love that he had that muscle memory to do that. And
he had to do it.
I wish that someone, I want to like CGI a pedal into that moment just for myself.
Yeah, I think that would be incredible.
I think you just helped me think of my next TikTok.
You need to fucking step on that pedal. You need to step on it hard. He needs to step on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that pedal needs to be stepped
Yes.
on. Wow.
Nice.
This took a turn.
I love where you took that.
I took it. I love that so much. So, that's incredible. You want to do a little round of
I would love to.
burning candle room fire rounds?
Okay, we got to workshop that name.
Yeah. No, I'd say. Yeah. No, you're right. Okay. Noted. In Neon God and Lifeline, you write, when I close my eyelids, all I see is tangerine. What does that color mean to you? Ooh. I'm loving the ooze, by the way. Keep them coming.
I love that you mentioned that because the color tangerine comes up a few times unintentionally.
Oh.
It became a motif. And when I wrote Neon God, I had actually gone to Coachella in 2012 with my sister. And it was the last time that I went to a big music festival like that. But I saw Pulp, and Jarvis Cocker is the lead singer of that band. And he was strutting around on this platform with literal
with arms wide open.
Yeah, it was Scott Stapp. It was Creed is who Neon God is about. But I grew up very religious, and so I was seeing this band and seeing the whole crowd sort of like fall into this like mass movement, almost like I'd seen in church. And it was the moment that I realized that rock music had sort of replaced religion for me.
Love that.
And that everybody was having this sort of like out-of-body experience, almost like they were like ascending in some way. And when I closed my eyes, I like, when you close your eyes, you see the blood vessels behind your eyelids. And so to me, it was like reminiscent of having that out-of-body experience when I went to see my favorite bands.
Love that very much. Yeah. Oh, so you grew up religious, and you found religion in rock music.
Mm-hmm.
But you also grew up in a town that just didn't have a lot of representation for you. And I'm wondering, how challenging was it in your head to take that step to be who you wanted to be? What was that, taking that step like? What's helped you to continue taking that step?
Welcome to Every Week in Therapy for me. So, I have to say that I've always very clearly known what I wanted to do, and someone in my life who is one of my greatest challenges and my greatest teacher is my mother. And I hope are there any Asians in here? Yes! Woo! Hello, that's one person that's my sister. Nice. Nice.
Your sister did your music videos, right?
She did!
They're fucking phenomenal.
KAYE, everybody. Yeah, and so I had anyone who's had immigrant parents might relate to this feeling of of becoming something different than what your parents wanted you to be. And that can look like anything from, in my case, it was wanting to take a secure route to a career, being a doctor or a lawyer or something like that. And this year I actually wrote a comedy show, I guess. I don't know, it's like a one-person show called Tiger Daughter, because it's about my tiger mother and how we've inevitably clashed and fundamentally misunderstood each other throughout the years, when she wanted me to play classical music to find a husband, and I go to Guitar Center to play riffs wrong and terrorize men on purpose. And I join a all-girl Guns N' Roses cover band called Welcome to the Vajungle.
Love that.
And she's just like, I don't understand you. Why are you singing about hoes? Like, the band is called Guns and Hoses. She still thinks the band is called Guns and Hose to this day, which might be better. So, it's really, I felt like I had to write something about it, because I have a note in my phone that's just like insane things that Mom and I have talked about. And
right.
So yeah, like
You're going on a tour.
I am.
You're touring
I'm
Tiger
playing,
Daughter, right?
I'm doing Tiger Daughter in New York on November 28th and 29th in the city. So you should all come see it if you want to hear more about that. And yeah, it's just like, it really is like a daily practice of affirming what feels true to me, listening to my bodily intuition about what type of music I want to make, regardless of where validation comes from, and just being in the moment and having fun. And having fun with some of my best friends on stage is the best thing that I could ask for.
That's incredible. So. That's incredible. I felt a block in allowing myself to even dance like tonight.
A lot of people
and I noticed that, and I put my fucking arms up. And I did it.
And you flopped like a Muppet. Yeah.
I flopped like a Muppet. We all did it. You all did it too. I just want to note that. And you brought that out. Yes. You brought that out of us. And that's beautiful. So, yeah, I guess visual representation is incredibly important to you and to all of us. I'm wondering, how do you want everybody watching this now to see you?
I think that visual representation is important, but I think that equity is more important than just seeing people that represent different walks of life. I want there to be space for people who look like me and people who look like everybody to have a seat at the table and to be able to tell their stories and not be marginalized. So I want to be seen as a whole person living a whole life. I don't want to be put in a box. I don't want to be assumed to have a certain skill level or not, or to be to have a certain like viewpoint just because I was raised a certain way. And I just want to foster community in doing things like this and continuing to have conversations with you and with anyone just to be able to hear what their stories are.
That's beautiful. That's incredible. Give her a round of applause. That's amazing. Yeah. What do you say we? You want to do a little cold read? I know you're an actor as well.
Oh my